Welcome to the podcast, folks. Today, we're diving headfirst into that $27 million hack at BigONE, the Seychelles-based crypto exchange.
Absolutely, it's a wild case. Cyber criminals draining millions without exposing any private keys.
Right, so get this. On July 16th, 2025, hackers managed to get into BigONE's production network using a sophisticated supply chain attack.
Fascinating.
And they didn't even need to steal private keys, which is usually the main target for breaches.
That's pretty unusual, isn't it? I mean, most hacks expose something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of grabbing private keys, they manipulated internal systems to redirect withdrawals, and that's how they managed to take away, get this, 121 Bitcoin, 350 Ether, nearly 9.7 billion Shiba Inu, and a whole bunch of Dogecoin and Tether, among other assets.
Right.
It's like they rewired the internal controls to let them siphon funds.
Wow. And how did they get in there without drawing attention at first?
Well, it appears that the entry point was social engineering. These clever attackers targeted a key developer, compromising their device.
Yeah, that's shocking but true.
Once they had the necessary access, they executed a supply chain attack to change the accounting and risk management logic of the system.
So they essentially used the developer as a stepping stone to tamper with back-end systems? That's an ingenious, albeit dangerous move. But here's a thought. I mean, don't you think relying on third-party integrations makes these exchanges extremely vulnerable?
True. That's exactly the point here. An over-reliance on continuous integration systems can indeed be a double-edged sword. When one critical point gets compromised, it can open up an entire pathway for such exploits.
Right, it's like having a super fast assembly line that's also a super sensitive weak link.
Exactly. And even though BigONE did not lose any private keys, and trust me, they made that clear, they still suffered a huge financial hit. They were smart enough to ensure that user private keys and data were secure, but the internal logic was, well, tricked.
So in this case, even with good cryptographic security, the infrastructure itself left room for this kind of manipulation.
Right on. It really underscores that protecting data isn't just about encrypting keys. It's also about securing the whole system's architecture.
Absolutely.
You can have the best firewalls in the world, but if one link in your chain is weak,
that's when, the whole chain breaks.
Precisely. And what's interesting is how quickly BigONE contained the threat and restored services. They even offered to cover all user losses from their insurance reserve fund.
That's reassuring for their users despite the breach. And they're also working with serious blockchain security experts like Slowmist to trace the funds, right?
Exactly. Slowmist jumped on the case immediately. They confirmed the funds' movement on networks like Ethereum and BNB chain, and even noticed some laundering through Tron, Solana, and Bitcoin. It's like a high-speed chase through the blockchain.
Wow, that's intense. But here's where I want to push back a little. Do we think that the process of using bounty programs with rewards up to $8 million is enough to deter such attacks?
It's a good point. While the bounty program incentivizes finding the culprits with huge rewards, there's a risk that it might encourage more hackers to test the waters, knowing that defensive measures might not be foolproof.
Yeah, that's a real double-edged sword.
Exactly, it's tricky. On one hand, bounties can help enhance detection, but on the other hand, they might embolden sophisticated attackers who see the insurance pools as targets.
And speaking of insurance, isn't it interesting how the crypto insurance market has ballooned from $1.3 billion to $4.2 billion in just a couple of years?
Absolutely. It really emphasizes how central exchanges are becoming high-risk entities. As the crypto industry grows, so do the stakes. And unfortunately, the sophistication of the attacks.
Right, and that makes it a cat-and-mouse game.
Yes, seriously. The attack on BigONE is now part of a long-growing list of exploits in 2025. CoinDCX at $44 million, Arcadia Finance at $3.5 million, GMX at $40 million, and even Coinbase facing customer data breaches.
It's like every other week there's a headline about yet another hack. So, what can exchanges do, really, to shore up their defenses against these internal system exploits?
Well, it boils down to strengthening infrastructure security, such as better internal vetting, more robust system monitoring, and enhanced access controls for critical developers. Practicing the principle of least privilege throughout.
Makes sense.
And continuous updating of security protocols without sacrificing speed in continuous integration is another must. They need to closely monitor any anomalous behaviors from within rather than just relying on external threat detection.
Right, it's almost like the internal workings have to be as bulletproof as the cryptographic keys themselves.
Exactly. And you know, in this case, BigONE did eventually reinforce their system and close the vulnerability. But the lesson here is clear. Even if your crypto is secure by cryptographic means, your internal processes matter a whole lot too.
Spot on. And what about the digital footprint the attackers left behind? That seems to be a challenge for tracing the funds, right?
Absolutely. That's another stick in the wheel. The digital trail was complicated, with pre-planned cleanup transactions, like 102,000 USDC and 79,000 USDT moved to hide the traces. It's a bit like trying to follow a ghost through a maze of constantly shifting corridors.
Yeah, that sounds incredibly complex.
And yet, blockchain observatories like LookOnChain are doing the heavy lifting, reconstructing migration paths through multiple networks on the fly. It's impressive, but also a stark reminder of how creative these criminals have become.
Indeed, deepfake tactics, UI spoofing, and malicious contract deployments now stand alongside simple phishing scams. It's like the hacker playbook has become a full-blown manual of mischief. Exactly.
Yup. And while the BigONE hack might appear as just another headline in a series of crypto heists, it really highlights that the infrastructure behind the exchange is just as precious as the coins stored.
And it certainly makes you wonder about the future of centralized exchanges versus the push for self-custody among crypto enthusiasts.
Totally, it's a wake-up call. Even with insurance reserve funds and tiered protection systems, these high-profile hacks, with over $2.5 billion stolen in the first half of 2025 alone, signal a need for deep internal introspection in security protocols.
Indeed, a major shakeup in industry standards might be just around the corner. Well, this discussion has certainly been a roller coaster through the dark side of crypto security. It's like every time you think the safeguards are set, a new angle of attack emerges.
Absolutely. And that's our takeaway. Robust, dynamic security measures are essential for keeping pace with these evolving threats. Thanks for joining as we broke down one of the most sophisticated hacks of 2025.
Yeah, thanks for the deep dive. Definitely food for thought for anyone in the crypto space.